guys, it's me again, and as promised, I am back with a new video. We are back in the game, and also, there's a whole the US 2020 elections between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So, who do you think's gonna win? I personally think Joe Biden, because he's currently in the lead. He's got the most votes. So let me know who you think's gonna win. Anyway, and tomorrow I'll probably do a video because tomorrow, as you know, is like the second lockdown and everything. So expect a video tomorrow, and then I'm going to take a massive long break until December when this whole thing's over, if there's any updates. COVID-19, all pupils and staff must wear masks in secondary school corridors, and then pupils and teachers, I'm on mine. Handy dandy trusty phone again with news. Anyway. The guidance was issued on Wednesday afternoon, and then pupils and teachers in all of England's secondary schools and colleges will be required to wear face masks in communal areas and corridors on Thursday. And the new government guidance also says that clinically extremely vulnerable staff members should not come into school. Head teachers said schools will need help to pay for supply teachers. Guidance issued by the Department for Education Wednesday afternoon says face coverings should be worn by adults and children aged 11 and above when moving around the premises outside of classrooms or activity rooms such as corridors and common areas where social distancing cannot easily be maintained, and the same applies for further education colleges. Until now, this requirement was only for schools and colleges where the local COVID-19 alert level was high or very high. The DFE also says teachers with serious underlying health issues should keep away from the premises. Those individuals who are clinically extremely vulnerable are advised to work from home and not going to work. Staff should talk to their employers about how they will be supported, including to work from home where possible during the pandemic, during the period of national restrictions. All other staff should continue to attend work, including those living in a household with someone who is clinically extremely vulnerable. 4 days ago, beggars believe schools will wait till now. The people. Yeah, it really does. Beggar belief. Scotland. We also wear masks in class at level 3 and 4. Senior pupils and their teachers are being advised to wear face coverings in classrooms for schools in the level 3 and 4 restriction areas. Scottish Government released new guidance for school safety to take account of the COVID system at the beginning of Monday. Other guidance advises staff to wear face coverings in all schools where social distancing is not possible, and parents should wear masks even at drop-off and pick-up, even if they're not entering the school. 4, S4 and S6, their teaching areas should wear face coverings, classrooms, as well as when they are moving around the school in common areas. Adults should wear face coverings when they cannot stay at least 2 meters away from other adults and pupils. So we need to there are some exceptions to this. Staff in primary schools should now wear face coverings, common areas such as staff rooms, canteens, and corridors. Guardians should discuss with their GP or clinic clinician whether the children who are shielding should attend school. Why is that? Children should not attend school in person. Coverings must now be worn in workplace, canteens, Scotland, places, corridors on Monday. Things relax slightly. The couple will no longer have to cover their faces. In the ceremony, face coverings will be required in a number of public settings in Scotland. Be worn in secondary schools by adults and all pupils. Rules. Young children, people with certain health conditions mean that everyone must cover their face in work canteens or sitting at a table. Similar to the rules for cafes and most other communal areas. Pubs and restaurants have been closed until 26th October. Strict rules and household mixing were introduced 3 weeks ago meant that people are generally not allowed to visit other homes. Raises the new measures that's been in place since the 9th of October. Scotland will be in highest tier. 6 people from 2 households can meet together in hospitality venues. Customers have to provide the contact details. Must now wear face coverings when moving around. Mandatory for staff to wear face coverings. Premises have to close at 10:30. Pubs, restaurants can only serve alcohol for main meal. It's closed indoors at 8 p.m. and outdoors at 10:30 p.m. To open when no alcohol can be sold, and they must close at 6 p.m. Anything under level 3 rules is not travel anywhere. For any other reason other than essential reasons. Work, education, outdoor exercise, healthcare, essential shopping. Not to travel between Scotland and England unless it's absolutely necessary. It's in quarantine. People have been banned from visiting other households since 25th September. The new system carried out on 10th of November. 12 are exempt from the limits. 17 the outside. Is to meet physical distancing. Face coverings now mandatory. Face coverings on transport. Guys wear face covering. Universities must use blended learning. Schools will remain open for school pupils. Face coverings in class. Will remain open. Shops, visitor attractions remain open. Soft plays, fun fairs, snooker remain closed. Cinemas, bingo halls are allowed to be open. Soft play, fun fairs reopen. Are allowed. People advised not to go to work outside homes in lockdown from Thursday. Affected, stay at home as much as possible. Size full bubbles, avoid all non-essential travel. Go to any shops, pharmacies. Don't go to work if you cannot work from home. Children can go to school, should still go to school. They're flocking to make last minute buys out of lockdown. Shops and close their doors and won't fall on lockdown from tomorrow at the time of filming this video. This again, I will make a video. Week lockdown. Blend on Thursday rules. Then remain in place until Wednesday, 2nd December. Stay at home unless for education work can be done at home. Size and recreation. Hosts must not mix with others indoors. Can meet one person. Size to a household in outdoor public space. Single bubbles for people who live alone. Separated informal. Childcare support bubbles for children aged 13 or under. Support groups. 15 or fewer people are allowed. Schools, nurseries, colleges and universities will remain open. Childminders and nannies can continue to provide childcare. Students who live in university must not return to their permanent home until the end of term. Places can stay open if people cannot work from home. Clinically vulnerable advised not to go to work. Take your own exercise, create classes. Follow the rules above. You can exercise outside as much as you want. Outdoor playgrounds can remain open. Leisure sports centres, golf courses, fitness and dance studios must close. Elite sport can carry on behind closed doors. All pubs and restaurants must close. Takeaways and deliveries can continue. All non-essential shops must close. Click and collect services and deliveries can continue. All personal care facilities must close, including hair and beauty, tanning and nail salons, tattoo and massage parlours. Supermarkets, food shops, off licenses. Petrol stations and pharmacies can remain open. Bike shops, hardware stores, dry cleaners, banks, post offices, garden centres and pet shops can remain open also. Motorway service stations can remain open. Medical services can continue. Libraries can remain open. Weddings and civil partnerships will not be allowed. Funerals can be attended by 30 people. Still visit potential properties. You can stay in a hotel overnight. People outside your household will not help with moving house unless if it's essential. You wear a mask, maintain social distancing. After the 2nd of December, different regions will return to the tier system. Cannot meet with anyone anyone indoors who is not part of your household. Can meet up in groups up to 6. In parks, beaches, pubs and bars must close. Advised not to travel until and out of work. You're not advised not to travel in and out to your areas unless if it's essential. Betting shops, adult gaming centres must close. You cannot meet with people indoors. People in support bubbles can go to meetings. Still meet friends and family. You may not meet in a group of more than 6 people. Pubs, bars, restaurants must close at 10. 6 people from 2 households can meet. 10:30 p.m. Curfew for pubs and restaurants. No gatherings inside people's homes. 6 people from 2 households can meet outdoors or in the pub. No indoor gatherings at home. 10 p.m. and outdoors until 10:30. Can open until 6 p.m. Leisure and entertainment venues are closed. Schools will stay open in all levels. People should stay at home in most circumstances. Secondary school pupils above year 8 have online learning only. They're lucky. People must not visit other households or meet people they do not live with. Pubs, restaurants, and non-essential shops are closed. Leisure businesses, community centres, libraries are closed. Places for worship are closed. Adults living alone can join one other household. Shops remain open. 2 households can form a bubble. Up to 15 people can meet. Those that are required to close can be opened. There will be no travel restrictions in Wales, but people can only leave the country for essential purposes like work. Schools closed for a 2-week extended after break but have now reopened. Pubs, bars, restaurants must close, except for takeaways and deliveries, which must stop by 11 p.m. Support bubbles will be limited to 10 people. You are not allowed to stay overnight. Close contact services must close. No indoor contact sports allowed. No mass events of more than 15. Wedding ceremonies limited to 25. Funerals limited to 25. Bubbles defined as group of people with contact with. Planned lockdown. Thursday. People living alone. Sometimes household will be to meet doors. Only one time. Theme for June, people in Scotland to live on their own. And household couples who do not live together. Using year group and or class bubbles. Do mean physical distancing. Not to be too close. So lockdown, during which nobody can meet anyone from outside the household support bubble. So Monday, so we could break a lockdown until 9th of November, which means people are not allowed to mix with other households or meet any people they do not live with. Down to households in Wales will be able to form a bubble. People will be allowed to meet organised activities indoors. People living in Northern Ireland also can't have restrictions. Someone's play groups in pounds. Lockdown in England includes the closure of pubs, gyms and non-essential shops. Older children and teachers in England must wear face masks at school. So at midnight, all pupils and teachers at secondary schools in England must wear face masks in the bid to slow the coronavirus. On Wednesday, staff and students in Year 7 and above have been told to wear face coverings in school communal spaces outside classrooms where social distancing cannot be maintained. Schools have been given until Monday to implement the new guidance. Primary school children will not need to wear face coverings, while those older children with special educational needs or disabilities may also be exempt. This will remain at discretion of primary schools as to whether staff and visitors should wear face coverings in communal spaces. Face coverings had already been required for secondary school pupils within areas under Tier 2 and Tier 3 restrictions in England, with those local restrictions now to be replaced by the national measures. Routines and schools have protective measures in place to keep their staff and pupils as safe as possible. Education is a national priority and we cannot allow it to be disrupted again. Children and staff at secondary schools in Scotland must already wear masks when walking between lessons or in communal areas. Other guidance advises staff to wear face coverings in all schools where social distancing is not possible, and parents should wear masks even at drop-off and pick-up. In August, the Prime Minister made a U-turn on his decision that children in England should not wear face masks in secondary schools. Face coverings were made mandatory in communal areas and corridors. For children in towns and cities that were subject to stricter coronavirus restrictions, it was left to the head teacher's discretion outside those areas. Mr Johnson said in the summer it would be nonsensical to enforce the use of face coverings inside classrooms. Lockdown beginning on Thursday. We should have received a letter from the NHS when people were originally asked to sealed earlier in the year. Advised to stay at home at all times and should only go outdoors for exercise or to attend health appointments unless told not to by their doctor, with all but essential travel. People are advised they should work from home. If they can't, they shouldn't go to work. Children who were originally told to sealed are no longer considered extremely vulnerable. Continue going to school. Otherwise, contact their child's GP. If extremely vulnerable, they should not go to school. Themselves, they should attend school still. Home restrictions for England and tier system in Scotland. Upcoming new measures in Wales. Saturday, Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced new lockdown measures for the whole of England, due to come into force from Thursday until 2nd of December. Similar to the first lockdown, pubs, bars, restaurants, non-essential retail will be forced to close. People will be told to stay at home unless they have a specific reason to leave, and people are only encouraged to travel. They only travel to work if they cannot work from home. This time around, however, schools, colleges, and nurseries will remain open. People will be allowed outside to exercise, but can only meet with one other person outside of their household, and this must be an outdoor public space. Meetings with members of the soldier band. Break which started on October 23rd, so during the 2-week half-term thing. Lasts until November 9th. People can only leave their homes for limited reasons. Leisure must work from home when possible. Leisure, hospitality, tourism businesses are closing. Community centres, libraries and recycling centres. Places of worship other than funerals. Next Monday, when the fire break ends, 2 households will be able to join together. I'll probably end up doing a video too on Monday. But yeah, anyway. So be a new arrangement to meet indoors settings such as pubs, bars, cafes, restaurants. Non-essential businesses will to close. Restaurants, cafes, pubs, gyms will be able to reopen on November 9th. Be a ban on travel between Wales and England, so such as work. 6 a.m. on Monday. And pubs, restaurants closed for weeks. On October 16th, shops and takeaways and deliveries for schools will start for 2 weeks. Remain open on gyms. People have been told they should work from home unless unable to do so, and those not to take unnecessary journeys. Unless for specific reasons, such as attending school or college. And the 5th until Wednesday, December 2nd. Reasons such as education, work if cannot work from home. People can also leave recreation, household, allowed to meet in homes. Stop for food and essentials. Sport bubbles will remain in place. Unless entertainment venues will be closed. Bars, pubs, restaurants must stay closed. From home when possible. Time. Then the March and April lockdown. Told not to leave home. Schools, colleges, universities will remain open. On the 2nd, national travel out of the country will be banned. Remain open for private prayer. Games will continue. New national lockdown from Thursday. With pubs, leisure facilities, non-essential shops closed for 4 weeks on midnight on Thursday and ending on December 2nd. Thing will be banned and people won't be allowed to meet outdoors in public space. person. Set home advices returning. Location worker cannot work from home. How to play on. Closed, except for takeaway and delivery. Non-essential shops are closed. Colleges, universities will remain open. Travel will be banned. Quarantine for 2 weeks. Rolling loud. Alcohol where possible. Close support network. There's people in the household. Moment no. Shielding. Not single adult. Stay home. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So bye.